And we are at a good morning right now today. Okay, a fair morning. Um, Today we're going to talk about one thing real quick. It's going to be a top 5 list of, um, it's going to be a top 5 list of, uh, abilities that kind of slip under the radar. You know, there's guys that have these abilities that, are just freaking amazing um, and people use them all the time, and they don't really realize they're there until they're not using them and their stuff isn't working as well. So we're going to just go through real quick and pick out 5 guys that have some really unique abilities. The first one, Norog. Everybody in the world who has Norog knows of his passive. Immune to sleep, stun, decreases damage taken by allies. It decreases damage taken by allies under one or more buffs by 15%. It does protection on everybody. Everybody's aware of that. Decreases the damage taken by all allies that are under no buffs by 25%. So we all know that Norog is just a defender and does a great job. Okay? But his moves do just next to nothing, right? Except, if you really pay close attention, he attacks all enemies and places block buffs. Not a lot of people are aware of that. And that is, to me, a very hidden gem ability that just not a lot of people are aware of. Everybody knows Norog. I bet you nearly everybody has him because he's the one legendary that everybody gets that goes, oh shit, I don't want him. And he ends up being really useful. He's was on my first team that ever beat Hard Hydra. He was on my first team that beat Brutal Nightmare or Brutal Hydra. He's been there on a lot of my teams that go through campaign and everything else, and has allowed me to get pretty far in the game. And I still use him today because of block buffs. So, number 5, Norog. Number 4. Whoops. Is Eret. Everybody is pretty much aware because of the Mythair team that Eret that she counterattacks. Everybody's pretty much aware that she can remove one random debuff from all allies and has a 60% chance of placing increased speed. Everybody's aware of those. But what people don't realize is if you're not using her in clan boss and you're using her in other content like the village over on the other side, City of Centranos, if she kills an enemy, she gets an extra turn, which means she clears off your guys quicker, which means that her passive, which is using her A1, grants her an extra turn. She has some extra turn ability here. Eret. Number 4. I'm sure that most people are aware of everything else she does, but not of that extra turn stuff. One of everybody's favorite, Coldheart. Coldheart, everybody's aware of her A3. Everyone is aware of it. It decreases the target's turn meter by 100% and is a max HP hit. You build her for crit damage, you put her into Spider, and she just hits like a freaking ton of freaking bricks. She really does. And her A1, 4-time hit, you put her in Fire Knight, and she's bringing down that counter like mad. And then when she gets a chance to hit, she hits with her max HP. And she reduces the turn meter so the Fire Knight never goes. Pretty cool stuff, right? But if you really pay attention, she also has a heal reduction in there, making her effective in other parts of the game and helping you in other areas, on other clan bosses, other bosses. I've used her in Hydra, and she's done well. I've used her in other areas. That heal reduction really comes in handy when you have a guy that's, healing up on you too fast. So Coldheart is a kind of a hidden ability. Anybody who knows me knows that there can't be a top 5 list without Eret's. She's my lady. I have an unnatural love for her, and it doesn't make sense to me. It's unnatural. It really is. But everybody here is aware that she has her turn meter, and that you put her in Slayer and she's going to get a ton of turn meter given to her. Everyone's aware of that because I make sure everybody knows about it. But what people don't know is that she has a stun on her A2. It's an AoE stun. So what? Well, if you come into her masteries and you come over here, she has a 60% chance of placing a leech whenever you place a stun. So she heals herself and everybody else when she places a stun, which is really helpful in Spider and everywhere else. So that's that little hidden ability that Eret's has. Whoops, I didn't mean to close out of there. And then the last one, and number 1, and this should be a surprise to pretty much no one, Inquisitor Chamal. Inquisitor Chamal has so many little goofy hitches. You get him, and you look at his skills, and his A1 does no damage. It does damage, but it just barely does any bad damage. And every time an enemy places a debuff against any of your allies, it counterattacks. It'll only deal 50% the normal damage, but let's see. The head of Blight hits and puts out 4 poisons on every person on your team. You have 6 guys. That's 24 hits from his A1. All on the same guy. Pretty freaking cool. Now, everybody is aware of it. The other one, each critical hit this fills this champion's turn meter by 7.5%. So when he does a critical hit, so when you use this and put it in a critical hit, he's filling his own turn meter. And when he's doing this, and this is the one that actually is pretty neat. It hits for a good amount, and it does true fear. If you have his accuracy up high enough. I don't, but you can use that. So there are little things where these guys are better, or not better, where they can be used in different places. But Inquisitor Chamal is my number 1. He has everything in his kit is pretty much hidden. You have to really search for it to find, hey, this is where that is at. Wait, doesn't he block fear or true fear? Yeah, he does. And he also gives the turn meter to the team leader. But where's the counterattack? Oh, it's on his A1. So he has a ton of abilities to do a lot of things, and they're all just kind of hidden in there, that they're hard to find. This places a turn meter on all enemies for 1 turn if this attack kills an enemy. So if you are able to hit one of their guys and kill them, then they all get true fear. So, there's a lot of really neat stuff that's in Inquisitor Chamal if you pay attention to him. So anyways, this is Leon from Setter's Raid signing off. Like and subscribe if you would. I really appreciate all the stuff that you've done. And I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.